to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing is any public discussion on the agenda items. Next, we're going to have Nikki Sarche, the head librarian at Heritage Library, and she wants to say a few words tonight.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi Shane. Thank you guys for having me. We left some flyers with Darla. We have the rest of 2024's calendar. Our main event coming up is our holiday craft markets. It's on November 2nd. This is one of the biggest fundraisers we have for the library. We have 20 crafter vendors, 3 food trucks, a coffee shop, a bake sale. We have a kids area, and all proceeds from the tables being rented out go to the library for our funds and our activities that we have. We have 2 more story times coming up this year that are new. We have a Thanksgiving story time where we're doing a Thanksgiving dinner for the kids, and we're having a New Year's Eve party. We're actually doing a countdown starting at 11:30 a.m. though, 7 p.m. That's more my time. So those are some of the events, but we have this year's calendar and then all of our events for next year that are scheduled so far this year. We just want to thank Mount Pleasant Township for your support, because we could not do all this without you. So thank you very much.
And Nikki does a very good job of organizing things, and especially since you already have all of 2025 planned out. She's very organized, and she does a great job at the library.
Thank you.
I couldn't agree with you more, so thank you for the great work, Nikki.
Oh, thanks, Shane. One other thing I forgot to mention, we had gotten a grant earlier this year from WCCF, Washington County Community Foundation, and by the end of November, we will have a STEM area for middle school, high school students, and a maker lab for adults. That'll include a 3D printer, a Cricut area for making t-shirts. Persons coming in from the community will only need to supply like a t-shirt or mug. We'll have all the other supplies. It'll all be free of charge. So we'll hopefully have a grand opening beginning of December for that, and everyone will be invited.
You know you're running out of room.
Yeah. No, we moved shelves. We actually moved bookshelves. I had high school
Good job.
guys come in, so.
All right, thank you
guys. Thank you all very much.
And just so you know, Nikki sends everything to me, and I put it on our website and our Facebook page, so you can always check there to see what's going on.
I appreciate you doing that.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you all. Have a good
Take care.
evening.
Thanks.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 25th, 2024 supervisors meeting and the October 8th and October 21st budget meetings.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions on a motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm going to make a motion to authorize and ratify paying the bills and payroll for the month of October 2024.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. I'll make a motion to approve the departmental reports.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Before we make this motion, supervisors, do you believe we need 3 budget meetings in November?
Personally, I think the one for the 5th is too soon after this last one, because I think you're still crunching numbers, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I'm still waiting for some numbers, yes.
I think 13th
I mean,
and
I'm
24th.
okay. I think we can get it done in 2 meetings. The 13th and 25th should be sufficient.
Okay.
Now, we've always
So
held...
that was good on that date that I gave you, that it'd be out of town, though, correct?
Right.
On the 25th? Okay, good.
Yeah.
We've usually held one in the evening.
Yeah. I didn't know if we wanted to have one early in December in the evening once we finalize everything on the 25th. Because if you're saying that we're going to have it in the evening on the 25th, then we better have 95% of it done on the 13th, because there still could be changes.
Well, what you pass in November is just a preliminary anyway, because there could be changes anyway, right?
Well, that's true. Do you want to have the 25th at night then, or that's up to you guys?
13th, 25th, and see where we go from
I
there.
think we need to give our residents a night option that can't make daylight meetings.
Well, we usually do, Shane, but usually that is in December. Usually, very early in December we have a night meeting.
And if I might interject and suggest, on your workshop type meetings that you have,
Yeah.
regardless, it's obviously easier to over schedule and cancel a meeting. You can advertise and easily cancel by posting and letting folks know, then to scramble and try to add one. So if you want to, if you think maybe you need the 25th and maybe not,
Well,
throw it in and
my
just not
suggestion
have
would be leave it the 13th and the 25th. Hopefully we get it done, and then we can schedule one in the evening just to finalize it
Okay.
early
All right.
December.
Okay. All right.
Hey, the 13th, I have a dentist appointment at 9.
Well, I'll move we advertise the budget meetings in November on the 13th and 25th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion.
You can just come when you're done.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next up is consideration of proposed intermunicipal cooperative agreement between Mount Pleasant and Robinson Township.
Um,
Do you want me to read it, Bill?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, for the Robinson Township Police Service Agreement. It's an acknowledgement from Robinson Township accepting Mount Pleasant Township Police Services. Go ahead, Dara.
Okay, so it's a motion to acknowledge Robinson Township acceptance of Mount Pleasant Township's offer to provide police services as outlined in the township's proposal dated September 3rd, 2024, and to authorize the solicitor in chief to prepare and the chairman to execute an intermunicipal cooperation agreement between Mount Pleasant Township and Robinson Township, Washington County, regarding the provision of law enforcement services within Robinson Township by the Mount Pleasant Township Police by the Mount Pleasant Township Police on the following terms and conditions as outlined in the township's proposal and with such other items consistent therewith, all to the satisfaction of the township and its solicitor. Initial 3-year term, $255,500 for 2025. 2026 is $268,275, which is a 5% increase. 2027 is $281,688.75, which is also a 5% increase. In addition to providing 24/7 emergency 911 police response to all calls for dispatch police response services within Robinson Township, including SWAT coverage through Washington County Regional SWAT Team, Mount Pleasant Township Police shall also provide a daily average of 75 to 120 patrol miles per day within Robinson Township. The Mount Pleasant Township Chief of Police shall provide a monthly written report, and the Chief of Police or his designated sergeant in his absence shall attend each monthly meeting of the Robinson Township Board of Supervisors to present the monthly report and to address any questions or concerns of the board or its residents as they may come before the board. All Pennsylvania Vehicle Code and local traffic penalties and fines within Robinson Township will be retained by Robinson Township, except overweight violations to be divided equally.
And the record will reflect that that is the motion made by Mr. Nimmel as read into the record by the manager.
Second the motion.
The motion's been made and second. Any questions? I have some comments. I'm going to vote no against this for a few reasons. One, back in July we talked about doing this agreement. I figured it would come back up before the full supervisors, before it was done. I have not been privy to how these numbers come up with. I know Matt and Darla worked on it. I've not seen any of that. I didn't even know if it's a good number. Two, I don't like this agreement which was just read, because this now says that the chief and the solicitor can do the agreement and the chairman can execute it, and it doesn't have to come back before the supervisors. I don't like that. And three, I'm still concerned, even though I've been told it's not going to hurt the regional police department that has been worked on so far. I do believe that that's going to have some impact, just because of who was servicing Robinson prior. So, we'll take a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no? No. Motion carries 2-1. Make a motion to approve $500 for the Fort Cherry Scholarship Fund.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve the DJ Unosik Family Trust subdivision plan, creating the Southview Field parcel pursuant to the Unosik Family Trust magnanimous donation to the Mount Pleasant Township and its residents.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We've had something come up that we're going to have to amend the agenda. It's a position that's pretty important in the township. So I'm going to make a motion to amend tonight's agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no.
To,
Go ahead.
do I have to say amend agenda?
To add a personnel item regarding the hiring of a full-time paid firefighter.
That's the next motion.
Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm sorry, we're doing,
Amend the
that-
agenda.
All that is amending the agenda to add an item.
no, I'm sorry, I'm describing the item for which we're
To-
amending it, I'm not
to
doing the
add-
action item.
to add
We're on still
Okay.
first motion.
Personnel item.
That's right.
Okay, that's all.
Okay,
Okay.
and just
Okay.
by, have we had a vote on it?
No, we
Okay,
haven't.
sorry, let me go.
All in
No.
favor? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
Okay.
yeah, motion carried.
And if I may just do my duty for a moment, we are limited in the circumstances under which in the new Sunshine Act we can amend agenda. Under these circumstances where something has arisen, this personnel item having come to fruition just on this day, actually, and there is a public health, safety, and welfare matter involved when we were talking about having, it's been enunciated to me by the chief of the fire department and the board and other personnel, and obviously it's a matter of health, safety, and welfare of the community to have one full-time paid firefighter down. So I believe, as the solicitor, that it is appropriate to amend the agenda as you have to consider this matter. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to hire candidate A for a full-time position at the fire department, depending on passing all physicals and any other tests.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no.
I abstain.
One abstention. Motion carries 2-1.
And just for public information, the reason why we do candidate A, the board obviously knows who that is, but we do have a contingent background check. In all fairness to the candidate, you wait until they clear that before you announce who that person is. So.
We had correspondence on here, but Nikki already filled us in on the library, but we did get a thank you card from the library for
Yes.
our annual donation. Okay, open it up for public comments. Please state your name and where you live.
Wayne Roth, 184 Southview Road, McDonald, PA. I'd like to know why Tom McDermott won't let me see the zoning officer. Okay.
I will, and I understand what your question is, that that's been said that I have instructed the code officer not to communicate with you.
That's what he
directly.
does.
Yeah, and I have on previous occasions in these public meetings, Mr. Roth, and I have met with you and your son and wife privately as well, and invited attorneys to call me as well. I have indicated that, and certainly you are free to have your 3 minutes and
Let's
make your
just
comment.
get
If I might, I'm responding, please, to your comment. I have advised that since you have engaged in...
Mrs. Withrow's
please,
right
if
here
I
right
might,
now.
if I might, because you are presently in litigation and that involves
no
the
litigation.
township. I believe you are actively in litigation with the Withrows, and you have actively pursued actions and threatened actions with the township with regard to the zoning determinations that have been made that underlie that suit. It has been my advice that with regard to that topic and anything to do with that topic, yes, that my code officer refrain from communicating with you directly on that, and that any of those communications come through me.
I've been in this township 55 years, and you won't let me see the zoning officer?
Again, I only give advice, and that is my advice.
I take the solicitor's advice.
Well, he has bad advice.
That's
How can I...
I do understand there's been a final disposition in your case?
Yes. It's done for. You can ask Mrs. Withrow.
Okay.
You gonna do anything about it?
Not in this meeting.
What, do I gotta wait another month?
Again, I'm happy to talk to any folks or their attorneys outside the meeting regarding this.
You told me to get rid of my attorney.
Absolutely not.
I don't
Mr.
think
Nimmo
anybody
and
ever told you to get rid
actually
of your
sat in a
attorney.
meeting
That's
with
what he
you and
said.
your son
No.
and advised you in advance of the summary judgment motion in Washington County Court that if you engaged an attorney, which you had not done so to that time, and reached out to us, we would be happy to speak with that attorney, and actually, upon invitation by you, that your attorney or the court would actually go to the court and participate as the court may wish us to in any kind of discussions regarding the matter, which is before the Washington County Court right now. That,
It
Mr.
is
Nimble,
not.
I believe, can confirm. Was the
It's-
offer made in our last meeting? We have heard nothing in response from you or an attorney taking us up
I'm
on that
responding
invitation.
now. What do you wanna see?
We met you in advance of the scheduled August 26th, I believe, summary judgment
It's
motion.
none of your business.
Well, you met with us and asked for an audience, and at the meeting that Mr. Nimmo and I had with you, in advance of that August 26th date, Mr. Nimmo offered that if you got an attorney before that 26th date and had them reach out to us and ask us if we would intervene before the court on their intervene not in the action but attend a mediation, a settlement conference, or any court conference, we would be and they would authorize me to do so.
It's a big song and dance.
It was actually a good faith offer that was made in advance of that motion that, and on behalf of the township, that at only your invitation, we can't just walk into a courtroom. If you had asked for your attorney that you did not engage,
I didn't have an attorney.
you
And
told us
I
you were
talked
going to
you
get one. I
guys.
think he gave you some
I
names.
talked to you guys and it was a big mistake.
I think he gave you some names, two of attorneys.
well.
What am
You
I gonna
might-
do?
I don't know what we're going to. We're not going to solve anything.
Why don't we have a vote?
That
See if
doesn't-
these other two gentlemen would go.
Didn't this go through appeal through the planning?
Again, there was no appeal, and there was a failure to appeal the zoning determination that was made 2+ years ago. Okay, and he had attorneys at his disposal, and at that time he was advised
I think he was advised to appeal it as well.
that he had rights of appeal that were not taken up, and now it would be far too late. And then I believe that Roth sued the Withrows in court, and that's the litigation to which I'm referring that you and I met him on
Right.
in advance of the summary judgment motion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still a pending thing, I believe.
I can't confirm, but I am informed, and I have not Do you understand that an order has been issued on the summary judgment motion?
I have the paperwork, it's canceled,
Okay.
it's done for.
Did-
She won.
So, in other words, the court, I interpret that as the court actually granted summary judgment to the defendants and dismissed Mr. Roth's case.
Okay.
There you go.
Mr. Roth has a
And I
right
would
to
like to
appeal
see
that
some-
to the Commonwealth Court. Or file a motion for reconsideration before the Washington County Court.
That's it. That's your next step.
My
Mr.
next
Ross,
step-
And again, I'm answering you informational, cannot provide any legal advice to anybody other than the borough.
Right. Basically, at this point, we're not permitted to give any legal advice or speak to anybody until he gives us the
Right.
permission to do so. Because there's legal matters going through right
There's
now.
no
And
legal
again, it's
matter.
just, it's
Well,
my
under
advice.
under his authority, he has the right to tell us when we can speak on that behalf.
And let me caution, I advise, I do not direct. I'm an appointed public official. The board collectively decides whether it wishes to take that advice or not. I understand that they have.
Well, explain to me, in my words, how do I get to see the zoning officer?
On this topic about relitigating the question that was at hand 2 years ago,
No.
if it's about
It's
the,
new. You want, I had flies and cow crap. And then the well was contaminated.
Again,
You
that's-
guys wouldn't do nothing about it.
again, same issues that were arisen here, waived here, and litigated in the Calm Police Court. And with
That's
all
the same
respect,
thing.
I would urge you, and again, I have and continue to be happy to sit with you, with one of my board members or a manager outside of the public meeting. I'm not going to discuss it further at a public meeting.
Well, let's
I
make
can't.
the,
And it wouldn't be wise of me to do so on behalf of the community.
well, let's make a meeting.
I will speak to you outside the meeting, and again.
You can reach out and do that outside of this
And I'll
meeting.
talk to Mr.
Yeah.
Nimmo as ambassador, but we've met, and I haven't been on the clock when the meeting's going. I'm happy to do that. Not going to go regurgitate where we've been ad infinitum with your son, with you and your wife, 2 times before.
At least.
At least.
Probably been more than.
Can he just
Once
make,
over the July 4th holiday 2 years ago when I met with you and your wife and son
Yeah,
up here.
one time at the police station, one
Out on the
time here.
bench shop front. Yes, I did. I took my holiday weekend to come and spend time with you, talking to you and trying to just
I think
answer all your questions.
the only other thing you have is, in my opinion, and Tom, is you can appeal the judgment.
Yes, yes, there is rights of appeal. Not getting legal advice from me because I'm not allowed to give you legal advice. I urge you to consult with your own attorneys regarding.
I don't have an attorney.
Okay,
That's your choice, though.
We've
That's
gone
your
7
choice,
minutes
Tom.
on this. We're moving on from this subject. Anybody else have anything?
Hi, Mary Jo Stazzle, 46 Woodland Road, Hickory. I wanted to know if anything was new about 48 Woodland Road, Hickory. I mean, I don't think the 30 days is up yet that Mr. Andreas could have appealed.
Yes, that's correct. And again, I'm happy to speak with you also outside the confines of the meeting regarding the status of the enforcement action that you're referring to. As you may know, there was issued a notice of violation on September 26th. There is a 30-day right to appeal, as I believe you've observed, and I apologize, and I did receive and pass on your update and appreciate it. As you can see, there's
Tom, can you speak a little
Oh,
louder?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. Maga. And as you can see, there has been some movement on the ground. The appeal period is running. Based on that cooperation, the zoning officer right now, the deputy was and is Mrs. Proch. So, and I've been providing guidance to her. I've been in communication with the person, and I'm happy to speak with you outside the meeting regarding that. There are rights to appeal. There are also rights that he has to get, because we're not in the business of punishing people, we're in the business of compliance. And if somebody, has an unlawful situation that can be made lawful, and they agree to cooperate in bringing that about, we do have the discretion to allow them to have some kind of status quo, kind of standstill while they commit to going through a process. And that may happen, and I'll speak to you about that. But yes, I believe the appeal period would be approximately 30 days after that. And, I can speak to you further about it outside the meeting if you'd be so kind.
Okay.
Not
Anybody
that I'm
else?
aware of, but I'll ask.
Bill?
Bill Orton,
Well,
Everett Road. Has the zoning enforcement officer done anything about that swimming pool that doesn't have a fence around it for 2 years?
That's the first, to my knowledge of that. If you
That-
want, and if
That in the
and,
estates?
and,
Excuse me?
In the estate?
and again, generally, if we could too, with and I can't stop you from speaking your piece. We do ask in zoning enforcement matters, because when folks under the law, before we cite somebody, like there's some citations, and I don't mean to get all civicsy one-on-one, okay, but there's some things, stop sign violation. Staying in the park too late. Nobody needs to send you some notice. Hey, you're in violation, stop it or else. They just give you a citation. In zoning and property maintenance code stuff, you have to send somebody out a note privately. Again, and my long story, please. I'm happy to take the information and outside the meeting. Don't really want to air the public laundry of somebody who has not received yet a notice of violation.
This has been many months. This
I get it.
didn't happen in 30 days or a week. It's been 2 years. This pool has not had a fence.
Okay.
Mr. Orton, I will apologize because it was brought to my attention after your first, notification, which there was some lack of communication, and I apologize to everybody on that. And then George was in and out of his health issues, and I thought it went back to George, and it didn't go back to George. So at this point, I see it's not been justified or rectified. So I will personally get on it this week and take an address from there.
We'll get the information he'll get it to Darla. We will, as appropriate, issue the violation notice, and we'll.
Did you look at that once already?
I did not, because I did not. So I've heard the communication. I thought George addressed it, and George didn't. And it was just, again, this was lack of communication on,
I was told you were down there once already.
I never went down there.
Okay.
So
Well,
I can promise you that. So I don't know who told you that, it's wrong information. So this is the first time, and I will address it this time.
All right, now, anybody else? I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. All
Hey,
right.
thank you, everybody, for allowing me a call in here.
All right, hey,
Okay.
All right.
safe travels.
Yeah, safe trip
All right.
back. Bye.
All right, thank you.
You're staying down there the weekend.
Gary wants to know. Gary wants to know if you two are staying for the weekend.
No, we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully in time